Hey, what's up, my fellow YouTubers? So just had a delicious egg and ham sandwich from Stoltz's food stand in the food court over here. So now we're gonna get back to filming some more cars. There's a really cool looking van back there I want to get, but anyway, definitely still a lot more to see. So let's get to it. Look at this Dodge Explorer. So we saw one earlier. I think that was one of 284. So this is, I guess, this is an 84 Explorer. Look at this. Look at the color on this. God, that is beautiful. Let's kind of make our way around the back here. You see it's got the Dodge Ram badge on it. Very cool. Fellas, I am in love. I'm in love with this 1950 Hudson Commodore. Look at this. And the last place I saw a Hudson was at the Rockville, Maryland car show last year. It was a Hudson Hornet that I saw, and it got quite a lot of hits on my channel. But this is beautiful. Oh, the Hudson badge, look at that. And it's so cool just to see something that you just don't see very often. This is the Hudson badge over there. And even though the window's closed, I'm gonna try to get the interior. And it would be so worth just opening the door up and even get my butt kicked just so I can get this interior. Hey, what's up everyone? Right behind me is this beautiful 1950 Hudson Commodore. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like, you know, it's funny because this is such a huge event. It's going to be hard to really give attention to all the cars, but I just really wanted to give attention to this because you don't see too many Hudsons. I mean, you see Chevys, Fords, Mopars, and you know, I'm very happy with more Mopar representation. I don't see them as often. I just think of the Run to the Sun event where there weren't that many there, but just seeing a Hudson is just awesome. Wow. Look at this Super Sport. You know what's funny is I was just talking to someone a little earlier about how we prefer OEM and he had said in his words he doesn't like how things are chromed up and he prefers things OEM, but look at the chrome on this. This is gorgeous. This is a beautiful rendition and beautiful resto mod here. Look at this. This is absolutely look at the color on this, and look at those wheels. Let's get a closer look at this. Wow, lovely. My God, look at this. My God, this is imposing. Look at those black wheels and look at the silver. Boy, what a beautiful spec on this. I mean, I shouldn't say spec. I think this is definitely not OEM. This Cherokee here, absolutely beautiful what the owner did. Man. Grab the interior, very roomy. Ooh, clean, very pristine. Look at that. Simplistic yet sporty. Very sporty looking. I love that shifter. Look at how sporty that looks. Look at this 1967 Chevy pickup. Look at those wheels. Look at that color. Oh, that is beautiful. Back out here. So just from the front, that's how you can see it's a 67. Look at the 68 Fastback here. Ooh, I love that dark blue with the red brake calipers and those chrome wheels. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful presentation of this car. Lo and behold, we have our first Bel Air. Look at that, folks. First Chevy Bel Air. Look at this. And I always get that confused. I should know what year it is by now. I can't quite make the year. If this is the 56, I think this is the 56. With that, just by the way the paneling is, I believe that's a 56. But in any case, very beautiful Chevy Bel Air. Oh, look at the tan and chocolate color on this. Look at that. That's the first time I've seen something like this. Oh, look at that dash. Beautiful. Ooh, and look at the Chevy Master Deluxe in black. Look at this. 1940 Chevy Master Deluxe. Look at that. I love the shape too. Look at it. And look at how roomy the cabin is. Look at this. And then of course my favorite part. You know, I just love how you have those stainless steel elements on the dash like that. That is beautiful. Look at this 1929 Ford Roadster with the patina. Look at that. Oh, I am in love. Fellas, I am in love. You know, I actually think the patina looks better than an actual like full-fledged paint. Look at that. That is beautiful. Here's a cabin of this 1929 Ford. Oh, God, I love that dash. Oh my goodness. Just so simplistic and so vintage. So I just kind of want to do a general pan just to show just how much we have to cover. And we're probably not going to get every single car here, but you know, do what I can. But there's just so much to see here. That thing sounds nasty as hell. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna move on and get this Lincoln Mark 7 here real quick. Yeah, it's hard to see the. Oh my God, look at the interior of this. Oh my Lord. Oh. God, I'm in love with the pan of this car. It's hard to really appreciate the color because of the lighting. I'm gonna see if I get it from this side. Okay, that is beautiful. Look at that. I'm gonna continue to pan around here. Yes.
It just folds down. How big's the tank in it, you know? 15, I think.
Woo.
That one's tucked up in there better, so they understood when they installed it. And Ron, that you had to cut the hell out of
Oh, what a nice truck that is. God. Ooh, check out this Dodge Challenger, 1970 Challenger. Ooh, love that green color, man. And you kind of have this kind of grill on the top there. Look at this. Next you have a 1969 Camaro convertible, and I could see now that probably that stripe in the front, that striping along the hood, is probably OEM, because we saw that on another car. So this is another white Camaro, second white one I've seen in my life actually, and this one has a red stripe. The last one had a blue stripe, so just kind of interesting there. So check out this International. Oh God, I love the patina. I just love the pickups. And this just kind of reminds me of Run to the Sun. Look at this. And I just love how it stands out like amongst all the cars in the background there. That is so fresh. Look at that. Wow. So this is the International. Look at this. Now let's grab the interior. Ooh, that's a nice seat. I love the two-tone on that. Woo, look at that. And when you have the International badge on the other side. So there it is, the International badge. That's just cool to see. You see so much Chevy, Ford, even Mopar. Not too many Internationals though. Whoa. Barracuda. This 86 El Camino. Ooh, and it's so nice to see something from the 80s because I'm an 80s child, so I have a special appreciation of this kind of car. And I just love this color. So I guess this is a black, or is it a dark maroon? Is this a black? What color? So this is a black, a flat black. So this is a black, like a metallic black. And look, oh God, the interior. And I kind of moan like that just because it's just, for me, oh yes. Because again, I'm an 80s child, so this is all nostalgic for me. Now I'm gonna get the other side. Love that 80s grill. Look at that, so 80s, and I love look at those wheels. Those are cool looking wheels. I don't think I've seen wheels like those before. And again, I just love the plush interior, and also just more importantly that this whole car is just like, you know, straight from the 80s and just, you know, reminiscent of when I was a child. Look at that. Wow. Check out the 2019 Polaris. Look at this. All right, that's cool. Okay. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun to drive, especially off-road. Oh, look at this 1972 Cadillac Eldorado. I hate this. I don't know if I got this one already, but if I did, I'm going to get it again. Look at that color. Yeah, I think I did get this, but who cares? Oh my gosh. I just love how big and imposing the car is. Yes, 1992 Buick Regal. I love to see these kinds of cars because you see a lot of cars from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they tend to get a lot more attention. You don't see too many of the cars from the 90s, especially a Buick Regal. That's definitely cool to see. So that black truck in the background, I got that. So we're gonna go and attack these rows over here. So I'm gonna start with this row over here and just try to grab whatever cars I can. So let's get to it. Look at this beautiful, pristine 1972 Dodge Dart Swinger. And I love this in like a lime green. Look at that. Now that green actually does make a huge difference, especially in the sun, because I guess it's a little bit fluorescent, so the color stands out a lot more than if it were like, say, a neutral color. So I think this is actually a really good strategic color to take advantage of the sun, definitely. Right next to the Dart, you have a beautiful 1985 Chevy El Camino. Look at that. You know, like I said, I love seeing cars from the 80s just because I'm an 80s child. Oh, I love that color scheme there. You kind of have the white and the maroon with those wheels. That is beautiful. Let's get the interior now. Oh, yes. And again, I say this both because I love how plush it is and also because it's kind of nostalgic. Yep, very similar to what we saw before. Ooh, that is lovely to see. Ooh, check out the Z28. Look at that. And I just love, you know, the original color. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Very nice. 1972 Chevy C10 short bed. And I realize that I am a walking contradiction because on one hand I'm going to say I love patina and I love OEM, but then on the other hand I'm going to go and contradict myself and say I'm in love with this gorgeous dark maroon Chevy pickup here. And look at those wheels. Look at those wheels. I mean, this is the case where, you know, you make your mods, you make your updates to the car, and it just looks so much better. Look at this. Absolutely stunning and breathtaking. And right next to that is my dream car as a child. 1975 Pontiac Trans Am. Look at that. I remember when I was a kid, I used to go, Trans Am, Trans Am, Trans Am, whenever I saw these. Especially with the Firebird on there. Yeah, I just think Smokey and the Bandit. It might have been a different model, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this thing is absolutely beautiful. Oh, look at this 1961 Ford F100. Look at that color. And again, this is another one of those things where the color just goes so well in the sun, even though I'm probably on the wrong side now, where it's not gonna, even on this side, it still looks stunning. I think it's better on the other side, but look at that. I love that color. Let's look at the cabin. Look at the inside. Oh, and that was the interior. That was the dash I was looking at. So you have the seating, and this is kind of what I was getting excited about. Yeah, see, I just love how like the dash is just embedded right into the chassis. It's not with any of the plastic, and it's just so simplistic. All you have is your speedometer there, and that's it. That's all you need. That's so beautiful. What a nice truck. Now check out this 1972 Buick Electra. And again, it just goes to show just the design philosophy of the cars of the 70s, how they were big, how they were imposing. It's almost like they were kind of celebrating, I'll say how they were celebrating America. I think these cars were meant more for form than for function. And don't get me wrong, I think they function great, but you just don't see the cars designed like these. You don't see them looking as extravagant and as imposing and as almost like the car's actually bragging. Now let's look at the front of this. I mean, just simplistic and gorgeous. The car's just staring right at you. Absolutely beautiful. Props to the owner who was kind enough to allow me to open the door. Look, oh wow. So just look at the controls on the door, and just look at the attention to detail. Absolutely beautiful, and I love the seating. I mean, it looks like royalty. Just look at the decoration on the seats. And this is kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen a dash where you have like sort of it's angled towards the driver. And I've seen a lot of dashes from the 70s, but this is something that's totally different. So kind of a different design from Buick here, where you don't have the dash that's kind of straight across. This is almost like more driver focused. And it's kind of cool because the cars now are all driver focused. They have the controls on the steering wheel, but this is kind of a cool design. It looks like it's a little bit ahead of its time too. So very, very nice. So look at this 1978 Chevy Nova. And it's funny, the owners and I of the last car we looked at were just talking about how, like, it's, you know, the cars were much more made for personality back then. They put personality into these cars, not so much now. So you can sense the frustration. Let's look. Oh, look at these seats. Oh yes, very, very. Oh, that's cool. You kind of have that red over there, so you kind of have the chassis out, and you only have part of the car that's got that kind of plastic and wood dash there. That's nice. Look at that. And look at this beautiful Lincoln Town Car. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. Look at the front of that. Boy. Beautiful. What a beautiful car. Yep, when someone writes that, you open it up. Look at the old school door handle there. Oh, yes. And again, this may not have been like, you know, Mercedes or Ferrari, but it looks very, very plush. And then look at the detail. Look at the details on the door. So just still a lot of attention to detail, and it looks like a very, very luxurious cabin. Beautiful. Just love the attention to detail on the inside of the door, and I just love you have your kind of stainless steel here for the controls, for the control manifold there. Very nice. Oh, look at this 1961 Chevy Corvair. Look at that. And I know this has a linked history with the Corvette. I hate to say I can't remember what it is, but I know there is a linked history and it has something to do with the name as well. The name of the Corvette somehow I think derived from Corvair. But in any case, that is so beautiful. Look at those wheels. Get the town car there too in the background. Look at that. Oh, 1982 El Camino. And look at those wheels. Wow. You know, chrome wheels do make a difference. I hate to disagree. And I'm not gonna say I disagree. I mean, yes, OEM has this charm too. There's a certain charm about OEM that you just can't replace. But you know, these wheels just look freaking amazing. Conquista, look at that. I mean, just putting chrome wheels on the car does make a huge difference. And I think it just changes the car. It gives it a whole new personality, I think. Woo-hoo-hoo, look at that steering wheel. Wow. Kind of interesting how it blends in with the old school dash there. Look at that. So cool to see. Ooh, listen to that. Fellas, that is the sound of love. This is what love sounds like. What a badass El Camino. It was funny, the owner was telling me how, like, he bought the car like this and he really doesn't like, you know, chrome wheels on a car, but he said this particularly looked nice, and I have to agree. This particular car with the color and the wheels, this car looks absolutely beautiful with those wheels, and it sounds amazing. Hey, so the owner was saying, look at these bars on the bottom. So it's not like an exhaust. It's like an actual bar that just comes on the bottom of the car. So that's really cool. And then as far as the sound goes, it's basically based on the size of the cam. So you don't have like an oversized cam where it would muffle, it would just change the sound. It sounds like that because of the size of the cam. And it's a beautiful sound. It's just a perfectly sounding 8. And look at this rat rod. Look at this. You know, I love rats. I absolutely love rats. And this is a 29 rat. Look at this. Oh, that's stunning. Oh. Ford-O-Matic. Oh, look at that. Wow. What a beautiful Ford-O-Matic here. Look at that, and look at the side paneling here. 53 or 55. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but I don't know. Anyway, let's keep moving. Yeah, Ford-O-Matic. Oh, Crown, this is a Crown Victoria. I'm all screwed up here. So it's 55 Ford Crown Victoria here. Look at this. Oh, look at that interior. Wow. Oh my goodness. What a breathtaking interior. So check out this 55 Ford Crown Victoria here. Absolutely stunning. It's just so, I just love seeing cars from the 50s. Because again, I always picture Bel Airs. Anytime I see a car like this, I just think Bel Air. Just because that was the first classic car that had such an impression on me. But it's just so cool to see others 50 cars like this. And I just love the paneling. I just love the design of this particular Ford and cars from the 50s in general. Just so stylish and so beautiful. I got a bit sidetracked here, so I was trying to get I just finished getting that rat rod. I'm gonna probably have to go back. Look at this El Camino here. So this one is what year is this? This looks like something from the 80s. So this looks like somewhere in the 80s, I think. I'm gonna guess mid 80s somewhere. This is El Camino. Yeah, guys, I love those old school. Ooh, and it has El Camino on there. Look at that. Let's take a closer look at that. Right there, look at that. That is so cool. Love that straight up 80s dash. So we got a little distracted by that Crown Victoria when it started up. But back to this, back to the rat here. Look at this. Oh my God, that is absolutely insane. Wow, what a rat. Ooh, another beautiful El Camino. Look at this. Now check out this 1957 Chevy 150. And it's funny, I hate to say I kind of get these confused with Bel Airs. I wonder if this is just another name for a Bel Air. And I always say that because just the side paneling here, it looks very similar to a Bel Air. So I'm gonna have to ask the owner about this. If this also is, I don't think this is a Bel Air at all. This is a completely different model. Hey, what's everybody? So I just confirmed with the owner that this is indeed a 150. This is not a Bel Air. They're two separate models. I kind of thought that even when I saw the inside. Typically it's going to say Bel Air on the passenger part of the dash, and it didn't. So that's how you know it's not a Bel Air. This is the 150. So, but in any case, it's a beautiful car. Ooh, you got the 70 Camaro. Look at that. I think it hurt this car. Let's keep moving. You gotta kind of keep moving. Look at that. I love that color. Look at this. 72 Pontiac GTO. Oh wow, Mopar baby, Mopar. Hey, look at that front. Yeah, I just love that. Look at the pinstriping on that. Look at this. Let's take a look at this. That is unique. I have not seen that before. That is something very interesting. So definitely Pontiac, really, assuming that's OEM. Ooh, yes. You got the Pontiac badge on there and kind of the wood paneling on the dash there. That is nice. And look at this 1968 Plymouth. Look at the color scheme on this. And look at that orange pinstripe separating the green and the gray. Yeah, that is so freaking stellar. What a beautiful, beautiful car this is. Wow. And you know what's funny? I was listening to one of the podcasts or one of the documentaries on this. Oh, wow. First, let's talk about this inside. Oh, look at that. Love the door paneling. Oh, what a nice dash. So just it's funny because it's not really simplistic. It's kind of intricate. But just a nice dash. Anyway, what I was saying was, it's funny because I recall, with the Chrysler and Mopar, Plymouth is supposed to be like the more affordable line, is what I heard. But this car definitely doesn't look like it's by any means cheap at all. This looks like a freaking really badass Plymouth. Look at it. Oh.
Got a 350 Chevy.
Now we're getting run to the sun vibes here. Why? Because we have a 1956 Ford F100.
Poor Mr. Ford is having heart failure over the fact that they couldn't put a 351 in there.
That's right. That's right.
Should have had a Ford and a Ford, man.
I really admire the knowledge of the owners and the patrons here. Again, I'm just really trying to still brush up my knowledge. I mean, I'm in love with the aesthetics of the cars. I mean, they look really, really beautiful. Ooh, Look at that. I love that dash. Gosh, I just love how they have that, you know, just the dash kind of embedded into the chassis there. But anyway, what I was saying is some of the gearheads, their technical knowledge is very impressive, and how they can just, you know, talk about the engines and so forth. There's a lot of good knowledge here. You know, it's so funny. Every time I see a truck like this, I think Chevy or Ford, but this is neither. This is the 78 Dodge. And again, so good to see the Mopar representation. Very, very good. And I love the color scheme. Wow, look at that. And then right next to the 78 Mopar, you have a 2003 Chevy. Look at this. 2003 Chevy Extreme. And look at how aggressive the body is. Look at that freaking body paneling. Look at that. What a pristine truck. You know, there's a lot of Mopar representation here. You got the Dodge Power Wagon 200 here. Look at this. And look at the patina. Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about. So this is almost like the Mopar version of Run to the Sun. Look at that. Twice in a row that we have a 70s Dodge, and you have like a Chevy right next to it that's like a little bit more, slightly more modern. So this is a 97 Chevy. So kind of interesting there. I'm just gonna do a quick pan. Got the Bronco for $38,000, and then right next to that, oh, hold up. Ooh, yes. So I got a little distracted there for understandable reasons. But ooh, look at this. This little hot rod here. Look at this. Look at the wheels on this. Yep, I know I'm contradicting myself. I know I said how much I love OEM, and I do. But, you know, still, no matter if something old school, it looks good. Whether it's resto modded or not, or rodded or not. Look at that. This is beautiful. A 32 Ford Roadster this is. 32 Ford Roadster. Look at the beautiful paint and striping on this. Gorgeous. And look at the, oh yes. Look at that seat. That looks so plush. Look at that red interior. Yes. Oh, that is so nice. You guys, oh man, you guys have to be drooling over this. And look at this. This color is different. Look at it. You can see it kind of sparkling. So there's something else to this color. I don't know if my little camera phone does it justice or not. But anyway, I'm gonna pan back out. This is what a stunning Ford this is. Wow. Look at the size of that back wheel too. Yeah, this thing's a freaking monster. And sorry folks, already sold is this Mercury. Look at this gorgeous Mercury that I guess you guys missed out on, unfortunately, or maybe not if you're the buyer. Mercury Cougar, look at this. Look at this nice stunning Mercury Cougar here. Boyle Buick, Bella, Maryland. Oh, that is so cool. Look at this. A 2006 Miata convertible. So totally a change up from the you know, your typical, you know, domestic classics. Ooh, look at this. A nice little car there. We pan back in a little bit. So yeah, very, very sporty dash here. And very, very, obviously very different from your, you know, obviously older classics. Next to the Miata, you have a 2016 Camaro. Look at that. Boy, very, very imposing and very aggressive looking. But then next to that, look at this. A 1960 Buick LeSabre. Look at this. Wow. Absolutely original. Look at this. Oh, what a beautiful car. And it's funny, anytime I see a car like this, I just get Christine vibes. I wonder if I should get scared because the car's going to possess me. I know it's not a Plymouth Fury, but I just see a classic car that's patina and is original. I just, you know, oh, maybe I've seen that movie too much. And then right next to the Buick LeSabre, look at this. You have a Pontiac Fiero. Look at that. So you go right to the 80s with this. I think this is 80s. Ooh, look at the front of this. So 80s, 87 this is. I was eavesdropping on the owner in 87. Look at this. Oh, look at the wheels on this. So this is probably the best looking Fiero I've ever seen in my life, actually. And look at you get Ferrari vibes. Look at the leather seating here. Oh, look at this! Wow.
Remove the battery up front. I put the hood scoop in there because
Engine in the back. Was this a mid-engine car? I'm gonna have to ask the owner about this. Look at this, 1985 Cadillac Eldorado, and look at how elegant and royal it looks. Look at this, and it's funny. I was listening to one of the documentaries, and they talked about, it was called The Rise and Fall of Cadillac. And basically, in a nutshell, they talked about how Cadillac was ahead of the game for most of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, but then they kind of fell apart in the 90s. But I don't know. I mean, this is 85, but yeah, these cars, this looks absolutely beautiful. And I remember this from the 80s. Oh, yes, look at that dash. Wow. Oh, right dead smack in the middle of the 80s. So anyway, what I was saying is, if Cadillac ever fell, I don't think they fell in the 80s, and even if it did, I can't tell if I'm looking at this car, because this looks like an absolutely beautiful and stunning car, just emanating pure luxury. And look what I found, guys. A Buick Riata. And funny, when I first saw this, I'm like, could this be the same car from Run to the Sun? And this is the 1990. The one at Run to the Sun, I think, was either an 88 or an 89. But in any case, this is a Buick Riata. How often do you ever see these? Because most of these events are typically, you see your cars from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But it's very rare you see a Buick Riata. And I love this car with the maroon and the white top. Absolutely beautiful. So let's look at the interior of this. Oh, it's just so cool to see something from my back in my day. Look at this. Almost same color as the car, so it's kind of reminiscent of the 50s how they did that, but very cool. Ooh, look at this truck. Look at this. Look at the patina on this. This is a 92 G20, is that what this is? Don't look like a 92. In any case, it's beautiful, look at it. So a 92 G20, okay. Let's take a look at the interior real quick. Oh yes, look at the cabin. Oh my goodness, wow, this can't be 92. No, this has got to be older. Look at this. But in any case, wow, what a nice truck this is. Look at that. So one other thing to note, I was talking to someone, and they said this model, they have the motor right in between the seats. So that supposedly is the motor of the car. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Wow, what a truck. And look at this. Look at this Chevy Greenbrier. Look at this. Oh my God. Oh, what a gorgeous, gorgeous van. Oh my goodness. Look at that tan and brown color scheme there. Oh, let's walk around her. Let me back up a little bit. Oh, wow. Let's get a close look at the wheels. Oh, those wheels are beautiful. And most importantly, let's get the inside of her real quick. So very, very roomy. Plenty of room here. Oh, look at that. You kind of got that plush, kind of shaggy, the shaggy effect on the doors. Oh, look at the dash. Wow. Yeah, Corvair. That's what this is. Kind of a, I guess it's actually a Corvair. I was kind of confused. Yeah, Corvair Greenbrier. 64 Corvair, folks. Look at that. I don't know if this is one of the show cars here. This is a Buick Century, but I actually love this. I love this car here. Because I wouldn't necessarily call this classic as I would retro. I think maybe you have to wait a few more years till it becomes classic. But I love the color of this. And this car I just absolutely love. Really nice color and nice car too. And next to that, we have a 1972 Olds Cutlass. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Wow. It looks beautiful in red. Look at that. Those wheels too. In fact, the only drawback of the color is that you probably attract a lot of cops. Well, at least if you're a Corvette. I know they say if you had a red Corvette back in the day, the cops will pull you over. I don't know if it's true for this car or not. Oh, look at that dash. Wow. I just love how like the dashes varied so much in the cars of the late 60s and early 70s, but that's so cool to see. Wow. I already got that section, but I don't remember this Mustang here, this 1965 Mustang. Look at that. What a beautiful color. It's all original too. Yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. I love that color. And you can see it's a little sparkly too, like an airbrush or something. But what, that is so beautiful. Oh, sorry man, sorry. Look at the oh my god. So look at this white. I don't think I see too many white interiors. Oh, I gotta get the other side. Love that old school door handle, but yeah, I just love this white interior. That is absolutely just beautiful. Oh my god. See, this is what I love. I love when the dash is just so extravagant. Look at this. I mean, it looks sporty and it looks elegant at the same time. And just look at the controls, the knobbery, the knobs, and you have like that rectangular dash. I mean, it just, oh my goodness. No wonder Mustang kicked ass back in the day. Yeah, that's the thing. I think this was probably the #1 selling car when it got released. So check out this Mustang in the background here. Just a little bit about Mustang. So Ford, when they were selling the Mustangs, they actually sold the cars on the showroom floor, which was unheard of. And they sold like an absurd amount of cars. It was like easily the highest selling car in history. And they were selling like, I think 1,500 cars a day, or a lot more than that, 2,200. I don't remember what the figure was, but it was something absurd. But yeah, basically they aggressively sold this car. The first one was 1964.5 because it came out somewhere in April, and they sold an absurd amount of these Mustangs. And it was just like, yeah, it was basically like record breaking. So you have an absolutely beautiful interior, gorgeous interior inside this 1966 Mustang Coupe here. Look at that. And it looks very, very nice in kind of this dark green, like a forest green here. And right next to the 66, you have a 65. That's why I got confused. But this is the 65 Mustang here. And you know, I just love the red accents. I love the red pinstripe, and some of the red accents on the wheels. Very beautiful. Let's get the interior here. And a lot of space in the back. So for kind of a sports car, it's very, very roomy in the back. And oh god, look at that. That is, man. And you know what? This is almost like right around when they started going with the plastic, but this looks beautiful because you have some of the stainless steel elements there. Oh, I guess encasing the dash, the gauge panel there. Oh, and that's signed by Carroll Shelby. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look. You don't know what a big deal that is. Carroll Shelby. He was the brains behind the Mustang performance. He even stated that anytime they make a design change, they're breaking the record. Carroll Shelby literally said that. And he set the standard for the Mustangs. Look at this. Look at this 1955 Chevy. Look at the patina on this. Look at this gorgeous yellow. Oh my goodness. Absolutely beautiful. Now let's see what it is, if we can see what it is. So this is not a Bel Air. I don't think, because usually it says Bel Air on that over there. So I wonder if this is a 150 or a 210. I'm gonna have to ask the owner on that. So this is a 210. It's a 210, but you have the Delray interior. Was it Delray? Is that what, yeah, Delray interior. So that's kind of why you kind of have the higher level trim on this. That's why it looks like a kind of like a Bel Air. I've pointed this before. I love how you kind of have the Chevy emblem kind of like, I don't know, kind of like embedded inside this this stainless steel trim there. That is so cool. Let me pan back out, but this is beautiful. And I love the patina and I love the color on this. What a stunning car. Ladies and gentlemen, check out this 1955 Buick Super. Look at this. Wow. Oh my goodness. Look at the paneling. Look at the attention to the detail on the chassis of the car. That is beautiful. What a lovely Buick. Hey guys, so I hate to sound like a noob here. I hate to say sometimes I confuse Buick and Mopar. I don't know why I do that, but this Buick actually belongs to General Motors, in case anyone is actually wondering if Buick is Mopar or not. That's actually not. But in any case, this is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful Buick Super, and I just love the outside design of this car. The you know, kind of the design of the chassis, just very, very beautiful.
You keep plenty.
I told you, driving this one around today, I was like, fucking shit, this thing is nice.
Last night when you
So we got the bellow over there, and I'm going to kind of do a quick pan. So yeah, there's just a lot to cover. And you know, a lot of these classic cars are kind of scattered in between just more like kind of regular modern cars or the cars that aren't short cars. But that's fun, you know, we're just going to keep on going here and see what we get. All right, look at this. That's a strong looking car. Look at that. I love that dark maroon. Look at this 1963 Thunderbird Roadster. Look at this. I think we saw this. I wonder if this is the same car. We saw something like this at the Rockville, Maryland event. So when I was in Rockville, Maryland, I saw a car like this. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Look at how recessed the bottom part of that dash is. Look at that. So what a unique design. And look at how the gauges stick out. So that's also very unique. I don't think I've seen that. And you got the radio there. This is probably one of the coolest dashes I've ever seen. Look at that. Very, very nice. And then right next to the Thunderbird, you got the 1980. I gotta move here quickly because this guy's about to run me over. Looks like a C10 pickup. Square body. Very nice. Wow. Well, you certainly don't see these very often. Look at this Impala race car here. Look at this. And look at the paint. This is the first time I've seen one of these up close. And you know what? I've really never been into NASCAR at all, but maybe that might change. But look at, yeah, this. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Wow. So fellas, this is the very first NASCAR car I've ever seen in my life live. Look at this. Wow. So check out this 2007 Impala here. Look at this. This is absolutely stunning. Hold on. You know what's funny about being a YouTuber and trying to take this shot is that people think that I'm facing the camera the other way. So they're all like waiting for me to get done. I'm like, no, I'm actually facing myself, and I'm trying to do a narration of this beautiful NASCAR over here. And anyway, what I was saying before, I've never really been someone in a NASCAR before. I've never been in a NASCAR. I've always been in the more production cars, but this is the first NASCAR I've ever seen up close, and it is beautiful. It's one of the things where, like, you know, when I first saw the Lamborghini Revuelto, I wasn't impressed at all when I saw it for two reasons. One, it was a camouflage version, so it wasn't spec'd out, and two, it was on YouTube, so I didn't see it live. And maybe it's something similar to NASCAR. So this is the first NASCAR car I've seen, and it is absolutely stunning. It's so cool to see this in person. And this particular one has 800 horsepower. 2007 Chevy Impala, 800 horsepower. Freaking awesome. And look at what we have here. A 1991 Chevy Astrovan. I think I kind of remember these. The Astrovan definitely sounds very familiar. Oh, this is cool. And you could do a lot with this too. But I love that color. Look at how you have like the color spec on it. You have a kind of darker blue, darker aqua, and it goes to lighter aqua. And now we're gonna get the interior of this. So it looks like it's very, very roomy in the back. And oh yes. Look at that retro dash. Oh my goodness, a retro interior. Got the cup holders here. Very, very nice. And look at this 1990 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. And you know what? I hope you guys won't take this the wrong way. You know, it certainly does not look as, you know, imposing and as stunning as the Oldsmobiles of the 70s. And I have a feeling that Oldsmobile was just much more prominent in the 70s, and kind of in the 90s. They were kind of struggling to keep up with Chevy, Ford, and all the bigger manufacturers, but still, just very nice to see this Cutlass Sierra here, and it is a nice looking car. I do like the way this car looks. I love the pinstripes. I love the neutral colors on this, and I kind of do remember this from back in the day. And this is a very cool car. Again, you know, it may not have the same imposingness and menacingness of the Oldsmobiles of the 70s, but most of the cars in the 90s didn't. You know, couldn't compare them to the cars of the 70s, but just nice to see this really cool looking retro Oldsmobile here. Now this is a 1961 Pontiac Bonneville. Look at that color. Look at the stainless steel paneling on the side of the car. This is absolutely stunning. This is kind of what I mean. the cars of the 60s and 70s, it's just hard to compare because these cars were just so imposing, and it's almost like they were just meant. It was meant purely for form and the show off. And not to say that these cars don't have function, but I just think these cars, I'll just say these cars had soul. I can't think of a better word. And speaking of soul, you see the interior here, but look at that dash. I'm gonna get it from the other side over here. And this will be, admittedly, this is from my video short, which is why I'm taking it like this. Look how you have Bonneville written on the side there, and then you go back to the interior. You have Bonneville in between the back seating, that, you know, badge on there. And oh yes, look at that. This is what I mean by the interior and just it being more imposing and more just kind of domineering. Oh, beautiful. 95 Chevy truck. And then right next to that, you have a 72 Monte Carlo. Look at this. Very beautiful. Now that is one sexy modern Camaro. Look at that color. And look at the hood. And look, you can see the sparkles. In the black, you can kind of see like kind of purple and greenish sparkles there. So it's definitely a special kind of paint. Definitely a special kind of paint on that. Look at this. I'm not sure if I'm picking this up, but you can see like a...
Yeah,
that's
hard to pick up.
That's very hard to pick up. I'm not sure if my camera's doing it justice, but you can see like kind of an imprint of the car right along this whole striping, this whole silver striping. You can see like an imprint of the car. That's so cool. But that is a very, very cool, cool artwork there. This... Oh.
Look at that.
Check out this 91. So I got a bit distracted, but this thing sounds so menacing. Yes. Got this rat rod here, 1941. Let's see, I'm gonna look it up. 1941 Chevy pickup. Is that what it says on here? It doesn't look like a pickup. Yeah, it is a Chevy pickup. It is a pickup. Oh my God, what the hell is this thing? What in the hell? I've never seen a front like that before. Okay, that's really interesting. Oh, that's totally new. What in God's name? What the hell? What the hell is this thing?
You'd be the only one that has one like this, I'd say that. Oh,
Yeah.
Door handle. Right, that's cool. Get that much detail. Look at that.
What the heck? Look at this. That is cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's probably, I think that's probably my favorite feature on the car. I mean, this whole thing is interesting, but that's a nice touch right there with the wrench.
Cool. I've never seen one like this.
No.
If you can imagine it, you could do it, right? That's
Yep.
a modern frame though. You can see it.
Yeah, definitely a modern frame, but yeah, it looks like he took the front off like, I don't know if it was a Ford Roadster or something from the 20s maybe.
Yeah.
29, 30 Ford Roadster or 3-window pickup, I don't know. Then, like you said, you smacked a Pontiac rear on it or something.
50s, yeah.
Yeah, and you got like a 50s rear, so this is definitely something special.
It's interesting.
That's very interesting.
I don't like it, you know?
Yeah.
You can't find a car you like here that you want to buy, and you're not going to find it anywhere, right?
Yeah, no, pretty much. You're right about that. Hey, you too, man. Yeah. So we were talking about, look how small the cabin is. Yeah, this is one. That's why I looking at this. I'm like, what the hell is this thing? So obviously it's like kind of a makeshift rod here, but very nicely done. Look at that. I love Elvira, folks. You gotta love Elvira, but what you gotta love more is this 1958 Chevy Biscayne. Look at this. Look at the paint. Look at the paint job on this. And what I want to point out, what me and this other dude were talking about. Look at this design here. So you know how we talk about how Lamborghini has like their Ys and their hexagons all over the car. So he's got like this elongated 3, for lack of a better term. Here, they've got it down here, and he's got it on the hood too, twice. So that is really, really cool. And I got a pan out here. This is such a beautiful piece of work. Yeah, Biscaynes are just beautiful, and then the paint work, it makes it even more beautiful. I bet that I'm going to get a short of this, which is what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pan in here. Look at that gorgeous paint on here, and look at this interior. Let's take a look at her. Oh yes, yes, look at that. So maybe that's not the original color, so maybe this is the original color. So maybe it was a beige, and then, oh my god, that's so weird. Is that digital? Boy, that is something else. So I'm gonna have to ask the owner about the dash if I can find him or her, but let's kind of go around this car a little bit. Oh, look at those lights. God, beautiful car. I did confirm, so the gentleman was kind enough, he actually called up the owner who was looking at a Cadillac, and he confirmed that this dash here is indeed digital. That is a digital dash. So that is really, really cool. But anyway, just what a beautiful, gorgeous Biscayne. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not here to buy the car, but this car shouldn't have a problem going. They shouldn't have a problem getting rid of this. And look at this retro interior. I'm getting nostalgia, feelings of nostalgia inside this oops, tripped over a golf cart there. That's what that was. 96 Buick. Look at this. It's just so cool to see cars from the 90s, because when I think classic, I think cars from the 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, but you don't see many of these cars from the 90s. This Buick. Look at this. Wow. So this is a Buick Roadmaster. And I love the wood paneling. Look at this. And even if it isn't the same quality as, say, your Woody, Woody or whatever, like the Woodies back in the older days, this is still nice. And look at this matte black Bel Air. This kind of reminds me of something I saw from Run to the Sun, because I did see something similar. I saw something very similar to this. It was like a real matte black, and it's not typical you see these. Usually you see Bel Airs in some really exquisite metallic color, and they look more luxurious. This looks like more menacing. So this doesn't at all look like luxury or royalty. This looks like it's trying to make a different kind of statement here. Like it's actually much more menacing, you know, for a Bel Air. But nice, very nice. Next to that, you have a 1967 Ford F100. Would look like the original paint on there. Look at that. Wow. That'll be a good thumbnail right there. Let me move it over there. That'll be a good thumbnail. Now wait until you see this, people. Just wait. I'm going to pan out. Yep, you can kind of see the color on it, or the painting on it. Let me get this side. Now look at that. That is my thumbnail for one of the videos. Look at this. Let me drop it down here a little bit too. Wow. That is absolutely one beautiful paint job. Oh my goodness. Wow, what a car. Look at this dude chilling in the trunk of a 1965 Corvair Monza. Look at this. Look at those lights. Oh my Lord. Look at those blue lights. Oh my goodness. Look at the body on this. It's so funny how the Corvettes are so prominent, but you don't hear much about Corvairs, and this is one of the most beautiful bodies I've seen. Oh, sweet, man. Look at that. Oh, you have the engine in the back. Oh, that is so cool. So you'll have to excuse my ignorance of my car knowledge here. I didn't realize that the Corvairs were had the engine in the back, kind of similar to the Bugs, the VWs. I hate to compare this to a VW, but I'm just saying that's the other car I know that has the engine in the back. But
I got the battery shut off.
Oh my God, look at that two-tone interior, man. Oh, this is so pristine. Wow. See, this is what I mean, that just the cars are not made with the same level of pride and heart and soul. I hate to sound like a grumpy old man, which is what I am, I guess. And don't get me wrong, I think even the cars today have a purpose. This Corvair, I'm just in love with this Corvair. This is what happens when you get overwhelmed with emotion. You start saying stuff like that the cars are not made like they used to be. And maybe it's true. Ooh. That's what a Corvair sounds like. Absolutely stunning. So look at this retro interior, my friends. Look at this. 2002 Chrysler. Look at this, baby. Yeah, it's so cool to see cars from the 2000s, you know? You don't want them to get overshadowed by all the other cars. So there is a lot of Euro technology in this, and that's because this was the time when Chrysler was associated with Daimler. And you had Chrysler Daimler, and you had cars like the Chrysler Crossfire, which kind of looked a little bit like a Mercedes, had Mercedes vibes to it. So that was kind of part of that whole Daimler Chrysler marriage. And it was kind of a bad divorce, I heard. I mean, I heard a lot of things about the divorce. So right next to the Chrysler is a 1968 Dodge Monaco 500. I've never seen that before. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at her. And look at the, you had the Monaco 500 badge right on the side of the roof. Oh my goodness. See, look at that dash. Look at how big and huge it is. This is just part of the design mentality of the late 60s and early 70s. And look at how exquisite that is. Just look at that. Look at the door paneling there. That is so cool. Yeah, I just love the design intent, the design philosophy of these older cars. Even though like kind of in the late 60s, early 70s, you kind of got into the whole injection molding and you saw more of the plastic in the cars, but still, that is still a beautiful dash. So this is kind of what this Dodge Monaco looks like on the other side, you know, with the, maybe I guess, more favorable sun angle, but look at that. Let me move over here a little bit so I can see if I can get a thumbnail for it or not. Lovely. So this event is just so massive. Just so many cars. So I'm just gonna keep walking because there actually is a car. Oh wait, this, I didn't even see this one here. Look at this. 1970. Is this a Chevelle? Look at this.
You know what I mean? Because you're already down to changing almost all the.
That is lovely. Look at this. So there is something special about this. This one's $70,000. Oh, 75,000. Sorry, I'm getting that mixed up. 75,000. I don't think he realized I was talking, you know, in the camera. I thought I was talking to myself there. But look at this. This is a Chevy Chevelle, and I hate to sound ignorant. I don't know. There's something special about this car, because you know it is $75,000. But I think there is something special about it. I just don't know what it is. So sorry for my ignorance. But regardless, it's a beautiful, beautiful car, and look at that color too. So look at this 55 Bel Air here. Look at this. Wow. I want to get more of this Bel Air, but there are people over there. I'm just going to keep moving. Look at this Bronco. Oh, look at this Bronco. Wow. I love this color. Or Blazer, sorry. Oh my God, I muffed that up badly. I'm going to delete. Actually, I'll just leave it in there so you guys can laugh at me. It's okay. So this is the Blazer. How dare I? It does look like a Bronco a little bit, though, in my defense. But this is a Chevy Blazer. Yeah, you guys can laugh at me. The badge is right on there. It's a Chevy Blazer, not a Ford Bronco. I totally muffed that up. I admit it. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful truck, though. Look at her. Wow, that is really, really nice. Look at the seats on this beautiful 1986 Ford Mustang GT convertible. And I am about to get an awesome thumbnail of this, or awesome shot for my thumbnail, rather. But look at that. Wow. So maybe right about there. Oh, that is beautiful. What a ride. So that might be a perfect thumbnail. And every single time I try to get this angle, some other like little cart or something goes by. So now I'm going to come in. Let's look at the dash now. So again, very, very different from the 50s, 60s, and maybe kind of like the 70s. Actually, even different from the 70s. Look at this whole 80s dash here. It's so different from the 70s. It's definitely not as imposing, but it still has a nice retro charm to it, though. And I love that shifter too. Look at it. Interesting. So now I'm back to this Bel Air here, this 55 Bel Air. And I just kind of wanted to get the shot from this angle here. Oh, very, very beautiful. Look at that. That could make a good thumbnail too. And anytime there's a Bel Air, you absolutely have to get the interior. And I'll show you why. That's why. Look at that interior. And again, I can't stress enough how much I love, you know, the Bel Air badge right kind of on that kind of oval semicircle, whatever that is, that part of the dash design there. But that is just beautiful. I am beginning to better appreciate the scope of this event. I mean, I'm not sure what's over that hill even. There's probably even more cars there, but more important, let's check this out. Look at this patina truck here. Look at this. What is this? Wow, look at this truck, man. Something else here. Back it out here a little bit. There we go. So this is a 1952 International. That's what this is, an International. And it's so cool to see these trucks, because again, you just don't see these too often. And that could be a good thumbnail. Wow, look at that. Let me move it over there. Perfect. Look at the interior. Yeah, I just love the original, just the original authentic style of the interior. And I just love the old school fonts on there. Might not be able to get it. Let me see if I can pan in. Oh, that's 10. I don't want to do that. 3. So I'm trying to get the. You can kind of see the font there. That's what I'm talking about. And look at what we have here, folks. We have a Chrysler Conquest. The only place I've seen these, actually the only one other time I saw this, I think was at one of the auto shows. I can't remember if it was a Philly auto show, DC, or New York, but in any case, it was one of those auto shows where I saw a black Chrysler Conquest, and it definitely got a lot of attention. But look at this, folks. You don't see this too often. Actually, like almost never. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're all having a good time here. So yeah, at the spring Carlisle event, and again, I'm so glad that I came to this. You know, in the beginning, I was a little bit nervous because when I came in, I only saw just the parts and accessories section. I'm thinking, is this kind of mostly what it is? And it was just kind of weird because you didn't see too many cars. Now I'm seeing a lot of cars. And even though they're kind of scattered about, I mean, there are just a lot of cool cars here. And very similar to the other events, I've seen a lot of cars that I haven't seen before. So this is an awesome event. And a lot of cool people too, with a lot of knowledge as well. So, you know what, if you guys love cars, especially classic cars, I highly recommend coming to the Sprint Carlisle event in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It's definitely worth it. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna keep on going. Let's get to it. So the owner was generous to allow me to open the door and look at this 2004 Chevy Impala and appreciate the retro style dash in here. Look at this. And a lot of room here too. It's very roomy. But look at this. This is an Impala. And it's so different from the cars of the 60s and 70s. Let me back out here. And as I'm backing out, you can see the controls on the... It's just kind of cool. See the controls on here on the side of the door. But look at this, look at the color. And it's just cool to see a car like this because you don't see too many cars like from the early 2000s. I've seen a lot of them here, but at most events you just don't. You see mostly cars from the 60s and 70s and 50s. And you know, when I think of an Impala, I think of those big, huge cars from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, you know, and people complain, oh, they don't make them like they used to. But regardless, it's just so cool to see. Look at those lights. One thing I do love is how the lights have changed over the years. But it's just so cool to see kind of this retro Impala. I wouldn't quite call this a classic, but this definitely is retro, and I love seeing this here. Next to this Impala, look at this 1923 T-Bucket. What in the heck? Look at this thing. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my God. Oh, look at the dash. Look how clever that is. There's hardly any room here for a gauge cluster, but you still fit a gauge cluster on there. Now, that is freaking cool as hell, guys. That is so cool. Let me back out here and see if I can get the whole thing. So 1923 T-Bucket. Look at this. Ford T-Bucket. Look at this thing. Oh, absolute stunner. I love the striping and the paint on this too. Oh, what a ride. Check out the lovely door handle on this 1968 Ford Mustang Fastback Shelby. Look at this, 428 GT 500. Look at this. Oh, what a car. And here is a lovely, sexy door handle on a 1970 Mustang. Look at this one. And look at that color too. Wow. So this car goes for a hot $89,500. It's one of 29 built with the Q code 428 Cobra Jet and C6 automatic. I'll just go and read that for you. So this is a special car, folks. $89,500, but this is absolutely a very, very special Mustang here. And I just love that color. That color is beautiful. And this is kind of my attempt to get another thumbnail because I'm going to have probably multiple videos when I post this whole event. Wow. So I'm going to do another pan. And we got this whole hill to get, which I don't think I'm going to get the whole entire thing today because it's so freaking massive. And this is kind of what I want to get. I want to get these two Mustangs together. That's kind of what I want to get. So you have two really sweet looking, a 68 and 70 Mustang together, with the one being particularly special, but just absolutely beautiful. Virginia is for lovers, indeed. And he's tired of feeding stupid people. Hey, I suppose so, absolutely. This is kind of what I love. You know, it's all about expression. These cars are all about expression, whether you do it through the car or through bumper stickers or what have you. But look at this Can-Am here. This is kind of cool looking. So look at that. And this is the reason why I come to these events, because you know, you never know where you're gonna find something special. This is the official pace car of the 62nd annual Indianapolis 500 mile race. Look at this. Ooh, what a nice Corvette here. 1978 Corvette Indy Pace car. Look at the color scheme here. Look at that red pinstripe on there. That is absolutely beautiful. There we go. Look at that. And then right next to the Corvette, you got a Scion. Look at that. Look at this thing. With the chrome wheels on it too. This is pretty fresh looking. So nice little Scion here. So fellas, it would absolutely be a sin for me not to get this beautiful, gorgeous Bel Air. Look at this. And I have to say, again, I probably mentioned it. This is a 57 Bel Air, but it actually was the Bel Air that got me in the classic cars. I'm going to kind of pan up here as an attempt to get a good thumbnail. That might be a good one, but anyway, very beautiful Bel Air. Ooh, look at that interior. That looks so different for a 70s car. So as I'm panning out here, oh, look at that white. That white is absolutely stunning. And look at this red. Oh, and this is a 74 Eldorado. And this is kind of what I mean. Look, the cars in the 70s are so big and so imposing. And I just get like, I get Goodfella vibes. I get like mafia movie vibes when I see a car like this. But this is, oh, that color is absolutely stunning and breathtaking. So I was just talking to someone who told me he had a purple Eldorado like this one. I don't know what year it was, but I think it was a purple Eldorado. I think it's 74. And I guess he was linked to the mafia, and he was killed by a guy named Kalinsky, I think. And yeah, I think he was stuffed in a barrel. So this guy was killed and stuffed in a barrel. It's funny because he overheard me talking about mafia, and that's what made him share the story with me. And now the 76 was the last convertible that came out. This is the 74, but I thought that was a really cool and kind of chilling, cool in the sense, cool story, and also kind of chilling story as I attempt to get another thumbnail here. That's a nice thumbnail. But yeah, so basically one guy owned a yellow one guy owned the purple one. The purple one got killed by a guy named Kalinsky, I guess some mafia hard man, and stuffed him in a barrel. So interesting story. I have covered this section already, but I don't remember getting this van here. This Dodge van is absolutely stunning. And this angle doesn't do it justice either. This color is a lot hotter than my camera phone is allowing to show. But look at this. Oh, look at that color of that van. Oh my God. A lot of Dodge vans here. That's so cool to see. Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're all having a good time. But yeah, I'm gonna grab some lunch now. But again, I'm just so glad I came to this. Again, I was a little bit nervous just because, I didn't see many cars at first. And I didn't really know how people would react to kind of a YouTuber walking around talking to himself like I'm doing now. Not really talking to myself, I'm talking to my viewers. But in any case, I'm headed to lunch now. So I think we've made some really good progress, got a lot of cars. It's almost like 1 o'clock now. And this event closes at 6 o'clock, so we got 5 hours left. And then gonna go and get some more coverage tomorrow. But yeah, we're making good progress. So gonna go grab some lunch and then get some more footage. Yeah, so this is not quite car related, but there are just so many cool things here. This is why you guys definitely have to come out to spend Carlisle, because it's not only about the cars, but it's just about all the other cool trinkets and things. Huh? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just all about the other cool things you can find at these events that you're probably not going to find anywhere else, at least not all in one spot. So this I thought was really, really cool. And I'm not even a big drinker, even though I'm starting to drink a little more now. I hate to say it, but this particularly is really cool. So I know this event is primarily about cars, or at least for my channel, but look at these cool bikes. I might have gotten these already, but I'm going to get them again because it's just so cool looking. Again, anything in vehicular I have to get. So I hate to see, even though I'm here mostly for filming, this is the reason why you guys got to come out here, because you're going to see so many things. And I say this because I want to promote this, but you're going to see so many different kinds of things that you could buy here, like really cool bikes that you wouldn't even think about buying. So you guys definitely got to come out to Spring Carlisle and check out all the cool stuff here. Well, fellas, it might be a little bit of a wait because it is mobbed here, my friend. It is absolutely mobbed. But again, this is a very, very popular event, and people come from all over the country, maybe even all over the world, but at least all over the country for this event. So anyway, I'm going to try and get somebody to try being the operative board. So let's get to it. So 5 chicken tenders, not exactly the healthiest option, and I have a diluted lemonade here. So not the healthiest option, but it'll do for now. And most importantly, as a pre-diabetic, I still have to stay hydrated, so that's what I'm doing here. So yeah, I really shouldn't be doing this as I'm pre-diabetic, but I've never had Brewster's ice cream before and I really want to try it, so that's what I'm going to do.